And Charles Merkel here for day 106 of 3-minute 10 breath total body warm up. Today I'm feeling a little philosophical. I shared a post yesterday, a quote from The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clayson. Something to the effect of, money is a measure of earthly success. And in some ways I agree with this statement. In other ways I want to challenge it. Realistically, this is a measure of earthly success. At least a measure that many, even the majority of people use. And we could delve into, is it an actual measure? Or is it something that's programmed into us? You know, I grew up watching shows like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and people with their mansions and their yachts and their private planes and their jewels and exquisite dinners. Says this is the lifestyle of the rich and famous and what money can afford you. And yeah, it's only natural to compare ourselves. It's like, well, I don't have all that. I don't have all that money. I don't have all that luxury. My life must be crap. But it's not the only measure. Or something else like I grew up enjoying the TV series Dallas with J.R. Ewing and Bobby Ewing, and oh gosh, and the whole big question of the summer in between seasons, who shot JR? But again, it was another portrayal of lifestyle because there was money and influence involved. But rather than being a measure of earthly success, I've learned that money is simply an amplifier. If you're already a good moral person, with a good foundation, a good solid foundation, money will allow you to do more good, to impact more, to have more influence. If you're a rotten scoundrel, money is only going to allow you to deceive and steal and take advantage of more people. And then there is that warning from the Bible. Not money is the root of all evil. It's often misquoted. The love of money is the root of all evil. Loving money for money's sake. That is a dangerous path to go down. Loving money for money's sake. Because when we do that, we displace people. And when you start loving money more than people, that is a very slippery slope, and you're out of alignment. It's a displacement. And you're going to end up doing more harm than good, both to yourself and to those around you. So I lean towards money is an amplifier. As well as, again, in one way, it is a measure of earthly success. Especially those who didn't grow up with it, who built something and obtained money. And that's what the whole purpose of the book is about. How to apply self-discipline to your life. How to build up a little nest egg, and then how to make sure that nest egg grows. It's about going out with purpose and a plan, not spending every single penny that you get. not spending it just on today, but planning for the future. Following the wisdom of the ants. Winter will come. Prepare for the winter. Old age will come. Prepare for old age. Leave something behind for your children to help them get started. So money is an amplifier. There's also other measures of success that I'm not standing before you here with a big bank account. You know, I've said that many times. My goodness, they are feisty this morning. It's a beautiful day for the cats to run around and chase the bugs. I said, I'm not sitting here with a big fat bank account, or standing here with a big fat bank account. This is just the current period of life. I've had periods of life with plenty of money in the bank, you know, more than I needed and had plenty to share, and times without. You know, to each there's a season, and there's lessons to be learned. And I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned in this current period. How to do much with little. How to accomplish much, how to influence much. You know, Jesus' miracle of the 5,000 has really been weighing on me lately. You know, we like to, in the Christian evangelical world, look at the miracle. And Jesus fed 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. But I can't recall any preacher hearing any sermons on what Jesus said to his disciples. When the disciples came to him, said, they've been with us for 3 days. Let them go out into the villages and find something to eat, lest they faint in the way. That was a valid statement. What did Jesus respond with? He said, you give them something to eat. 12 disciples with 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed 5,000 plus. So if I recall, that was just the men, didn't include women and children. You give them something to eat. So I've been going through a period with just my little 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Hearing that challenge, give them something to eat. That's been a driving force to do these videos daily with you. Taking the little that I have experience and knowledge and wisdom that's been gained through the years. I have working internet. I have a working phone. A gift from my father, I have a tripod to set it on. And I am able to do these videos with you. I have this exercise that I learned decades ago. Decades. But have practiced it over the years. Break it down to a very simple, very concise, very effective method for you. So the foundation of it I learned decades ago. To me, this is a success. When I'm able to wake up with my wife next to me, realizing what we've gone through in over 20 years, and we're still together. The challenges we've faced and we've made it through, that is a success. When I look at my children and see the incredible adults they're growing into, I see both their struggles and their potential and the progress they've made. That is a success. So we have paid off so much debt to the point that we have very little right now. At one point it was paid off. We got a little bit, but it's a drop in the bucket to what we were carrying. And we've learned our lessons and know how to use it effectively and keep it under control, under our command. How to avoid the siren call of cheap credit. Because it's never cheap in the long run. That is a success. That not having that burden, that pressure of insurmountable debt to pay off and the ridiculous amount of interest that was accruing. To me, that is a success. The thing is, this is just a measurement of where we are right now. It's not and it's a reflection of where we've been. But this isn't the end of the story. We're still going. We're still going. Just where are you right now in life? What lessons are you needing to learn? You know, if something is just repeating over and over and over and over and over in your life, it may be because there's a lesson you need to learn. And you're going to keep going through it until you learn that lesson. Oof. I should have worn jeans out here this morning. What lessons are you avoiding learning? Or what are you missing? Reflect on that today. And look at what you do have. I bet you have more resources available to you than you currently recognize. If you've never gone through the exercise, I highly recommend going through the Acres of Diamonds exercise. You can look up the book. It's probably 99 cents on Amazon. It's an older public domain book. But going through the exercise, really taking a good look at what resources you have, not just money, but your resources. If you have good health right now, that is an incredible resource. If you have energy and good family ties, that's a resource. If you have a network of folks you know you can call upon for help and they can call upon for you, that is a resource. If you have skilled labor and you have a line of work that you've devoted decades to fine-tuning and honing and being the absolute best you can be in, that is an incredible resource. Go through your acre of diamonds. Find out what you have available. Compare that to where you want to go in life, what you want to accomplish. And again, you're going to find you have more than you, maybe not enough now to reach the full goal. But I can all but promise you, you have enough to get started. And take either the first step or the next step. You have it within you to do that. All right. Now for the philosophy, let's get started with today's exercise. A 3-minute, 10 breath total body warm up. If it's your first time joining me, we're going to take a stance. You want your legs shoulder width apart, feet facing forward, legs bent. So I'm going to give you enough to get started. Visit the website, 7minutemorning.com, where you'll be taken directly to the videos to get full instruction on this exercise. But again, it's just a matter of getting started and then honing and perfecting along the way. All right. Leg shoulder width apart, slightly bent. You're going to have one arm out in front, another one cocked in the side. There's multiple things happening at the same time. We're just going to start with one. This is a resistance-based exercise with, as you'll learn in the videos, multiple muscle groups working in tandem against each other. But today you're just going to start with your arms. And this is 3 minutes, 10 breaths. When you breathe in, you're going to breathe in through the nose. Breaths are going to be breathing in is going to be about 3 to 5 seconds. As you breathe out, you're going to exhale through the mouth, which is going to be about 15 seconds. So that combined is going to come out 10 breaths in 3 minutes. When you breathe in through the nose. Don't breathe from the belly. You won't be able to fully expand your lungs that way. Spread out your wings. The full diaphragm. You said your wings should expand. You fully inflate the lungs during the breathing in, and then during that 15 seconds, it's a controlled breath. The goal is to fully deflate the lungs. And as you exhale is when you work out the muscles. This is a very slow, controlled punch. So as you extend your arm, it's almost, you're going to feel like you're punching through water. It's a resistance. The whole arm is fighting to get through. On the same token, like you're pulling a rope or pulling a spring, you should feel tension in your arm pulling this way. So 15-second extension, exhaling the whole way. So at the end of the extension, your lungs should be empty. That's when you relax. So completely let up, completely relax. That's when you breathe in, 3 to 5 seconds through the nose, refill those lungs, and then do the next one. So it's 10 breaths, 10 punches. So 18 to 20 seconds for each one. One breath each. And once I get started, I will not be talking because that ruins the effectiveness of the exercise. All right. Are we ready to get started? Good. Let's go. And begin. Oh, there we go. All right, I need to start doing these earlier. Ants are just too active this in the morning or this late in the day. I could feel them start biting my feet on my toes on the breath too. It just shows it's 3 intense minutes. You don't stop. 3 minutes. Intense effort. Intense focused effort. And it will pay you huge dividends. Do this once a day. I do it Monday through Saturday. Sunday's a day of rest. Or for this exercise, it's a day of recovery. Starting out, you can do it 7 days. But once you get proficient, it turns into a full condensed workout. So, and then I recommend including a day of recovery. But said, just an example, so once we start, we don't stop. We don't stop. You saw me break form one time. I think it was episode 99. All right. Well, I appreciate you being with me today. Think about what we talked about. Do your acres of diamonds. Take inventory of what you have. Because going back to the example of Jesus feeding the 5,000s, the disciples, they needed a push. They needed a nudge. They needed not a commandment, but they needed instruction from Jesus to go out. But they did it. They put in the labor. Because they had to go around and distribute to all those people. That was not a small task. That was not a small task. So Jesus provided the miracle. His disciples provided the labor. And they listened to him, and they did it. Said, you give them something to eat. Who can you give something to eat right now? It might be a few dollars, to somebody asking for it in need, or give them something to eat, some food or something else. But look at what you have, and who can you give that's currently in need? Do that today. And I will see you tomorrow. All right. God bless. See you tomorrow. Charles signing off.